Hello and welcome back to this new Jeffree video of mine. We have a special guest today. Come here, Mussels. Well, we had a special guest today. You can see him chilling over there right now. And he picks in this video the book I want to read. Not want to read, gonna read. He has 5 books to choose from, so let me show them to you. First up we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. As you might know, Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors. This was still my summer TBR. I did not get the chance to read it yet, and maybe he will have good taste and pick that one. Next up we have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I talked to you a lot about this already, also in my book haul. I think I showed this one to you. Yeah, I really like The Bodyguard by her, and I'm actually curious to get into this. I started it, I'm on page 20, but that's not really telling, right? Then we have a summer read, which summer is almost gonna be over, Heartless by Elsie Silver. Really would like to get into this one actually, but I cannot find myself right now to actually sit down and read this one. I don't know why. Like, I loved the first one. If I would have had this one on hand right away, no question, no doubt, but now I feel like it's been a bit too long for me to pick up a cowboy romance again, you know? I think I need a little spark that's gonna ignite, and maybe he's gonna bring that one. Another book I'm curious about is Love in Other Words by Christina. Now he's curious. Okay. I've heard plenty of good things about this one, and a lot of people really enjoying it. Curious. I already said that I'm curious. How many times can a person say that word without it being too much, huh? And of course we also have a book that I'm not as excited about as of right now. It's a novel love story by Ashley Poston, because I just read The Dead Romantics by her and I actually DNF'd The Dead Romantics. So I'm a bit doubtful if I'm gonna love this or not. Maybe you're gonna make me read that one. But I actually hope you pick another one. Yeah, I really hope he is not gonna pick that one actually. But I feel like we should spice things up a little and also put things in here that I don't love. So yeah. Let's see. These are the 5 books, so let's see which one he's gonna pick. So, sitz. Bleib. So, welches soll ich als nächstes lesen, Jeff? Das? Oh, he has a clear favorite. Nein, 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 nicht hier. Oh. So this one. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, that was not lovely for the book. Can you see? Das war das Beste? Ja? Dankeschön, Jeff. To my surprise, he seemed to be very obsessed with Love in Other Words. I hope he picked a good one. We're gonna read this one together in this video. I'm really excited, and maybe this is gonna be a 5-star read. I would be actually really, really proud of him if he picks a good one. If this is gonna be one of my new favorites, good job then. So let's just get right into it. This is a quarter book check-in. I would say a quarter, maybe a third. If everything goes well, it's already a third. But I want to talk to you guys because it's a cute book. Like, it's really, really nice. I feel a connection to the characters already. I feel like we can really tell that it's a soulmate connection between the two of them somehow. And I like that we're getting the backstory. So I was recently reading, also I made a vlog on that. This is reading the highest and the lowest rated book on my summer TBR, which is where I read Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. And I did not like that we were jumping so much back and forth. Usually I'm really against time jumps in books. So the thing is, I feel like they both have a similar premise. Like, they both go back and forth in time, and it's like friends to lovers in both of them, like both these books. But this one hooks me way more. This one makes me feel warm and cozy, and it's just very cutesy, very demure, very mindful. Oh my god. But I don't know where we're at right now. Like, I don't know how this is gonna evolve. Yeah, I mean, how are we gonna fill the upcoming 300 pages? That's just what I'm a bit worried about. But I do have an annotation key that I want to talk to you guys quickly about, which is pink is for relationships, green is for quotes, and blue is for sad quotes or anything. I did not tape anything in blue yet, but I feel like this book will have potential to make me cry actually. It's a very nice writing style. The chapters are very concise, very to the point. Everything just feels very realistic in a way, and also it feels magical. It sounds weird to say both these things in the same phrase. But it's true. Now I notice that it's just getting louder and louder here with the surrounding noises, so I'm just gonna keep on reading and I'm gonna update you later, because I feel like this is a book I can fairly quickly actually binge. There are not a lot of words on the page actually. I think I can read this pretty fast, so I'm gonna update you guys later. Same spot, different day though. I am almost finished with the book. I have about 100 pages left and I just wanted to do a quick little check-in before we have a final review. It's cute. I really enjoy this book. It is very fast paced. I feel like I'm definitely gonna finish this today. This book is mostly vibes, you know? Like, it has a plot. I'm not saying that it's not plot driven, but overall it just gives very nice, like, friends to lovers. I don't even know how to describe this book. It just magical somehow. I'm not really like inclined to pick it up all the time because we always have the flashbacks and everything, so sometimes it's like it starts to get a bit repetitive, but I'm still wondering why they had a fallout and why they didn't see each other anymore. And of course this is like only being revealed at the end, but I'm really curious, and we have a lot of their past where they have not seen each other unraveling. Did I even talk to you guys about what this is about? No. So we're following here Mason and Elliot, and they've been friends for a very long time. So this is not a spoiler, but Macy's mom died when she was a kid, and then years later the dad bought a vacation home for them somewhere at the beach or something, I think. And next door was the neighbor Elliot, and every time in summer they would then see each other. And with that they not only formed a friendship that started with reading in the library all the time. She had her own little library room, which, oh my god, love, obsessed. It's such a cute vibe. So they always read together. That's how their entire friendship is starting and developing. Then later we get snippets of how they got into a relationship and how that friendship slowly started to develop into a relationship. And now it's 12 years later, I believe. They have not had contact for a very long time, and they both moved on with their lives. At least they tried. That's why we always get the back and forths. And suddenly they meet each other again in a cafe and are back in each other's lives, and that really puts like Macy's world upside down. And it's like navigating if they're still friends or if there's maybe more. Also navigating, is it good enough for me what I have right now? All these things, like very interesting topics. It deals with grief, it deals with relationships, growing up, like just adulting is such a big deal in this book. It's such a heavy topic, like heavy topic in the sense of like it's not being described as very heavily, like I'm not crying about things, but it makes me think, and it also gives me the reminder of how it was like to be a teenager. Like it's just interesting. I've never read something like this before, and it feels very realistic. I really feel for the characters, and a part of me is growing up as well again, you know? Like I feel like I'm a teenager again and I'm growing up and I'm having similar life experiences as our main character does. Like of course not everything is the same, but still I feel like I can deeply resonate with her, and I feel like a lot of women will be able to do that. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a very deep book. And still lighthearted because of the writing style and the fast pace of it all. Like it isn't a difficult read, it's not a hard read. It makes you think though, and I love that. As I said, I'm not always fully convinced to pick it back up again. Like I'm not fully like, oh, I want to see how it's going, but now I'm at a point, like at the 300 page mark, where it's really getting good. Sometimes because we have such short chapters, I would like to be more in a few situations. Like I would like to see more their current dynamic between Elliot and Macy. For example, we had a picnic scene, or we also had a Thanksgiving scene. I would like to see more of that, you know? I would like to see more how they interact with each other, how they talk to each other. And then at one point the chapter just is cut down and is being cut short, and we don't get any insights into like what they talked about, how their connection is. So we mostly get her insight and how she feels about him still, so her mental state, which is interesting. But I would prefer to know what he says to her, you know, how their dynamic is. They have a physical connection, and they're like also just a soulmate connection, I guess. And you can really feel that through the pages, but I want to have a bit more banter. I want to have a bit more conversation in this, if that makes sense. I'm not hating this. I don't know yet if it's going to be a 5-star, but it's close. Depends on how it ends and how this is going to evolve now. But I'm not saying that I'm not going to rate this 5 stars. I really don't know right now. What I also still wanted to tell you about is that playlist, Reading Love and Other Words. It's so good. Like I'm reading this and it gives me the whole vibe. And I noticed that when I read this, I'm way more into the entire book and the entire plotline than I was before. So can recommend listening to that playlist actually. It's starting to get dark outside, or no, it's dark outside, but I'm almost finished with this. I'm on the last chapter and I thought, what better way to finish up this video than to read it with you guys. So we're gonna do that together now. It's been very emotional. I've been listening to also very emotional music, like the playlist that I showed you, and it's just hitting me. There are twists and stuff happening that I didn't expect, but it all was leading up to this moment, so it makes sense. We had the clues beforehand, but it's getting really heavy, but also really beautiful. Like, I don't know. I'm just confused with everything at this point. Okay, as you saw, I just finished this. I feel like I need a few moments to process actually. Let's just keep it in this angle because apparently it doesn't work. I hope my camera is still fine. That was scary actually. Okay, so now I had some time to process this. I really like this book. I feel like I'm gonna think about this so much still, but I don't know if it's gonna be a 5-star for me, but it's so close to it. I feel like right now I'm gonna set it on a 4.5 or 4.75. Actually, I really love this. Now I'm gonna give it a 5-star because I know myself and I know that I'm gonna think about this a ton. And that's why I think it's a 5-star. Not because it gave me like a giddy feeling or something, but because of the meaning it had attached to it. And a lot of romance books don't have that these days. Or also in general, like not a lot of romance books make me think as much as this one did. So I think this one is really... It was crazy. Everything that happened at the end, I was like, what the hell? And of course, it was a bit fast-paced at times. Like, we were jumping a bit ahead of time. Or like, we were missing a few key aspects. But I also think it makes sense because they've had such a long relationship and such a long timeline. It is plausible that we sometimes jump ahead because you cannot tell 11 years within 400 pages or 12 years. Or 5 years of friendship in their case. So wow. This is a really good book. I'm very glad that Jeffree picked this one. I don't know if I would have picked it up as fast as I did if it were not for him. So I'm really glad. I feel like my dog has really good taste in books. Maybe I will do this again. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And let me know if I should do another video like this in the future. Also, I'm gonna share a quote with you. Or like 2 or 3. Like, I'm just gonna open where I annotated a few quotes and we're just gonna talk about them, I thought. It never occurred to me that love could be anything other than all-consuming. Even as a child, I knew I never wanted anything less. When I lost her, it felt like I was drowning in all the love I still had that could never be given. Also this, his love was a roaring, vociferous bellow. Like those words, like I learned so many new words reading this, especially for someone who's not a native English speaker. This was really fun because we get like the scenes here where they share their favorite words all the time, and I learned a lot of new fancy words. Maybe I should have made a list. Talking about lists, another thing I really loved was that her mom left her a list of things, like, or her dad a list of things, like how he should handle things when she grew up, like our main protagonist grew up. And I think that was so special. Like, it really showcased the love of a mother, even though she wasn't there anymore. And it really made me emotional to read that. So another quote that is just the writing style for me. Like, the writing style was really distinct and very beautiful. It reminded me a bit like Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, that type of writing style. So one quote that I highlighted just for me to remember because I love the analogy, the metaphor of this. The memory of that night feels like a blur of watery colors streaking through fog. And just the imagery that is being created through this, I really severely love. And just their dynamic, their relationship, it was just also so good. So I can definitely recommend you this one. And if you have any other book recommendations, if you want to let me know anything down below. Whatever it may be, I want to hear about you, I want to hear about your day, I want to hear about your favorite book. Let's just chat down below in the comments. Also, because I didn't say it yet, thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. It's crazy how fast we grew over this past few months. So hello to all the new faces. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm very excited about the journey that lies ahead of us. Have a beautiful and blissful day whenever you're watching this, and I'm gonna see you next week. Bye!